Hey everybody. I've just finished organizing the next 3 or 4 weeks of sermon material and I'm really excited about what's coming up. Over the next few weeks, we're going to share some stories that you may not know, or at least stories you have not heard for a long time. And I'm really excited about that because I really like new information and I like preaching things that people haven't heard in a long time. However, this week, we're going with the very familiar. The power of this week's sermon isn't in new information, but in remembering truths that you've known for a long, long time. It's sort of like this. When someone in your family says, "I love you," they're not trying to tell you something you don't know. They're trying to remind you of something really important, that they care and that they really do love you. Those words are important not because they're new, but because they reinforce something you already know. That's what this week's sermon is going to do. We're going to look at a passage that might be a little bit unfamiliar to you, but the concepts and the ideas are going to be very, very common, but that doesn't make them unimportant. In fact, that makes them even more important. The sermon this week is called What a Fellowship, reflecting on trust, peace, and hope. And the sermon comes from the little tiny book of Jude. We're going to do something a little bit different this Sunday too. It's not just going to be a straight sermon like it normally do, so there's something to look forward to as well. In our Bible study at 10 o'clock, we are still looking at King Solomon, and we're actually looking at Solomon's final days. In Solomon's final days, he makes some really bad decisions. He gets his priorities backwards, and unfortunately, his son who comes after him does the exact same thing. His son did not learn from his father's mistakes, but hopefully we can. By seeing what Solomon did wrong and then watching his son Rehoboam do the same sorts of things, maybe we can avoid some of those problems ourselves. Maybe we can make sure we make better decisions and get our priorities in the right way. If you like reading ahead, 1 Kings chapter 11, we're at the end of that chapter, and then we might get into chapter 12 as well. So please read ahead on your own because we may not have time to read every verse in class, so it'll make more sense to you if you're reading ahead of time. Clearview Christian Camp up at Knossi Lake has started. I think Girls Week is on this week. Boys Week is on next week. We've got some of our boys from church going to that. So, and then there's lots of other things going on. There's junior high week, and there's teen weekends, and there's family camp weekends, and there's 50 plus week. Lots of things to do out there. Lots of ways to be involved if you want to go and be part of it. Registration forms are on the table out there. But I'm just going to ask you to pray for Clearview this week. Just stop right now, maybe even, and say a quick prayer for our camp. It's been a place where lives have been changed, a place where we get to come together and honor God from all over the prairies. It's a really special place. So I'd encourage you to get involved, but I'd also encourage you just to pray for what is going on out there this week. And while you're at it, pray for this Sunday service that we might hear something we need to hear, and that we might be God's people in a way we've never been before. See you then.